Welcome. I am Grace, sharing different aspects of an Ayurvedic cleanse. And the cleanse that we're going to be talking about today is we're using a cold press juicer. And then we've got all the ingredients over here listed on the side of the things that we're going to be doing. It calls for a third of a red cabbage. That is just approximate, right? Because you can buy cabbages in all shapes or size. Well, most of the time they're going to be round, but most of the time, like, you don't know if they're going to be real little or if they're going to be real big. So I put a third of a cabbage on this recipe, but you can modify that. Just if it's a really huge cabbage, maybe you only use a quarter. If it's a really small one, maybe use 2/3. So you can modify it just depending on how much. I didn't put like weight or anything because it doesn't have to be exact. Just FYI. So let's chop into this. And this is washed already. And by the way, this juice is really good. Now, when I chop these up, the cabbage, I try to make it in maybe a cube shape, about the size of maybe a dice, if that makes sense. Because the hole where it's going to go through is an inch. So I guess as long as it's like kind of small-ish, then it goes through easier. We take out the fibers, so it's kind of like getting a shot, like a B12 shot or something. Like, you get the nutrients right away, and they're not slowed down by the fiber being in the digestive tract while the juice is there. So it just kind of gives us that surge of energy. I don't know why I chopped that end off. I'm going to keep it. Because when you put things through a juicer, like if I were to eat this cucumber, I would generally chop the end off where that little piece is, which is just an option. It's not right or wrong. It's just something that I've grown accustomed to. But when you put things through a cold press juicer, you can just leave everything on. Like for the lemon, for example, I'm just going to leave the whole peel and everything on it. These, I've already washed everything. And I have a ton of beets. I'm about to show you some of the beets. Well, one beet from my garden. You can kind of see it right there. I pulled that this morning, y'all. My garden beets are getting so big. So Lance is asking, how do you wash veggies? Just running through water? Yeah, just make sure all the dirt is off of them. Try to buy organic if you can. This is the piece with the apple seeds inside. So apple seeds, they contain a tiny bit of something that's poisonous to our bodies. So you don't want to have the apple seeds in there. I'm just going to take that piece, put it in the compost, set it to the side. Okay, I'm just chopping the lemon. And this is one of the hugest lemons that I've ever seen. Look at the... And it smells so good. Lemons are heating. So the ingredients that we're using for this juice today are more on the warming side. Lemon is one of those warming foods. Cucumber is cooling though, so it does have a bit of a balance in there. The recipe calls for 1.5 inches of a piece of ginger. If you use metric, that would be the equivalent of about 5 centimeters of a piece of ginger. Okay, what else do I need to chop? Oh, my beets. Let me get another little bowl so I can clear my chopping board. And this lemon is huge. This is gonna be a really lemony. I could even use half of the lemon instead of the whole thing if I needed to. I'll make the call while I'm juicing. Oh, and when you put these through, you wanna alternate between like crisp vegetables, like a carrot is crisp, and soft vegetables, or fruits or vegetables like a cucumber. I want to keep the soft stuff kind of together. So I'm going to put the cucumbers and the lemons together. And then I'll put the apples and the carrots together along with the ginger. And then now I get to show you. I'm excited. I get to show you my beet that I got from my garden just a moment ago. Here it is. So I pulled this whole thing. Look, this is the size of my fist, and this is the size of this. This is like bigger It's huge. We're going to use the beetroot in the juice today, and everything else I'm saving for the party tomorrow. This beet, it's just a huge beet. And remember this right here, where all the food's gonna pass through to be masticated by this juicer, is only about 1 inch in diameter inside. So I've got to cut these beet slices to be less than that. That should fit, I'm thinking. Do my best. I might chop it, make it easy. Oh, it smells fantastic. Oh, and did you guys know that beets, like onions, they have layers, see? And so when you cook these little layers, they separate. So if you have the beets in chunks and as you're eating them, you can actually separate the layers. I know I'm way too excited about it, but it's so good and it's so fun to eat. So beets, I love them. And I'm gonna show you the chopped up veggies that I have. I have some veggies, some spinach, which I did not chop those up. I just had a bag. My husband went to the grocery store and bought a bag of spinach. Here's an apple, the red cabbage. Don't forget your beet. And then we got our cucumber and our lemon. So my thing here, which I made today, I do have a separate PDF that actually has all the ingredients. You can just go to graceyoga.net and get those ingredients there. You might be curious about which juicer I'm using. This is the Omega. When you turn it on, it's got 2 directions. One direction, that auger inside will go backwards. That is not the direction you want it to go, because then it'll carry all the produce toward the machine. You want it to come out. Let's go. Let's go. This is the biggest beet. What gives this like a good pop or zest is the ginger. So I'm gonna get some of that in there already. Carrots add a little bit of sweetness. Apples add a little sweetness. The cucumber adds a lot of the juice, like the water. If you can't find red cabbage, green cabbage will work. They have a little bit different nutritional value and properties. So when you can, get the red cabbage for this particular recipe. And by the way, this juice tastes so good. It's so delicious. Okay, this is like getting very full down there. I'm gonna transfer it to a different bowl. It's dripping purple. All right. So you can see just a little bit, I'll just show you this. It's very dark, it's very deep plum color, a beet color really, beet and red cabbage. But I need to make some space real quick because I have not finished. It's just because that beet is so huge and the lemon is so huge. Okay, so I'm just gonna set it to the side for now. And I'm not gonna throw this away, the fiber. This has been stripped of most of the nutritional value, but this is still good. So for like compost. So if you have a composter, this is great to use in that. I see some ginger going in there. I'm almost a little nervous to put so much lemon in it. I don't know. We'll see. I decided not to use the entire lemon. There's probably a third of it left. I think that if I used it, it would just be really way too much. So much healthier than going and purchasing pre-made stuff. I love that whenever you make your own stuff, you know exactly what's in it. All right, so I'm taking off the auger and just this whole mechanism. This is pretty easy to clean. You just kind of disassemble it and wash it with soap and water and I let it air dry. I do not put it through the dishwasher. Okay, yes, good question. How long does this last in the fridge? You want to have it within 24 to 48 hours. Almost spilled it. So 24 to 48 hours just know that the sooner you have it, the more nutrition that you're going to get in your body. All right, I'm going to put this in a mason jar so you can see the beautiful color. So there it is. Look at that beauty. It's really dark. But in the light, it looks a lot like, that. Like for me, that and this look a lot alike. All right, let's try this. Yeah. I can really taste the subtle sweetness of the beet, the zing of the lemon, the sweetness of the apple and the carrot. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And then we'll be back for another class here in our kitchen next weekend. Make sure you follow me. Please take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Bye. I like big beats and I cannot lie. Thank you for the hearts.